Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to my second Lego build that I've done on YouTube. I'm hoping you've seen the first one, which is the Lego Technic Bugatti Chiron, which is hosted on GeorgesGamingGuide. Today I'm going to be adding to that collection of the cars with the Lego Technic Lamborghini Sián FKP 37 model. It's set number 42115, has an impressive 3,696 pieces. It's actually rated as an 18 plus model because of the complexity of the build. If it's anything like the Chiron, the gearbox and engine are going to be quite a challenge. So I'd like you to take you through the unboxing of this, because as with the Chiron, it's a very impressive box of this. So the box itself is designed like the Lamborghini. So on the back of it you have the tailpipes and the classic 3 lights based on the Lamborghini Countach. On the front you have the front grille, and then you have the bonnet with the iconic badge. So if you don't know anything about the Lamborghini Sián, it's the first Lamborghini that's actually a hybrid vehicle. So it's got electric engine that self-charges, so you get no lag or anything on the gear changes. So very impressive car. It's got an 8-speed automatic or semi-automatic paddle shift gearbox with a V12 engine, as well as the generator which sits just behind the driver. Another unique thing about these cars is that there's only 63 of them, all individually numbered, and each one you actually speak to the designer and you have it made bespokely, so that you probably won't find any two of these cars the same. So it's a very special car. So I think the detailing that Lego have done is very impressive again. Don't know if you'll pick it up here, but there's actually a hologram for the Lamborghini badge, because it's actually been designed jointly between Lamborghini and Lego to get this model correct. And one feature I'm really looking forward to seeing is it's got the scissor doors that work on this model as well. So let's get into the box, and that's how you'll see what I mean about the way they've designed this is just very nice. So we'll get into the box. Again, it's quite a strange design when you get inside, but it's actually the back of the Lamborghini. So this is the cover for the engine bay. Again, just looks really impressive the way they've done it. Also, you'll notice that the boxes are, I don't know if you can see it in this light, the boxes are actually numbered. So like the Chiron, and unlike I think every other build I've done from Lego, the boxes are actually in sequence. So the bags you need will be in the box, in specific boxes, which it will tell you in the instructions. So again, just a very nice feature. So let's take these boxes out. So there's 6 boxes in total. And I'd like to quickly show you one of the other nice features of this before we get to the manuals. So if we open, this is box number 6. So like the Chiron, we have the nice rubber tyres. And if I open the other side of the box, I like the fact the boxes are all done at angles as well, so it just opens really nicely. And then you have the special gold rims that come on the Lamborghini Sián. So I think overall the aesthetics of this model is very impressive. One thing you've probably seen at the bottom of the box now, you have this really nice picture of the Lamborghini. This is actually the instruction manuals. To sort of show how complex a build this is, you have 2 very hefty instruction manuals in this set, and these are part of the collector's aspect of this set. So you've actually got the history of the car, tells you all about the designers. It's just very high quality. The paper's nice quality. If I get to the start of the build, so as you can see here, so it's showing us we're using box 1, shows you exactly where it is and shows you what you're going to be building. So it looks like we start off with the gearbox and the suspension. As we go through the build, I mean, you can see the complexities What I'll do is I'll stop after each sort of section and do a talk through to show you the insides of the car, because once it's built you won't be able to see any of the Technic part of it, apart from the doors and a couple of the pistons. But I'm really looking forward to building this. So my son George is going to be helping me build this. I think it's going to be quite a challenge for us both, but I think we'll really enjoy it. So we'll do a time-lapse video of the build and a talk in between each section. Then at the end of the build, George will be doing a review on his George's Gaming Guide channel. So you'll see an unboxing and a review there. So I'm going to leave this video here. We'll get the boxes unpacked, we'll get started, and we'll speak to you soon. Thank you. So we've come to the end of box one. There was quite a lot to do in box one, to be honest. We've built the gearbox, so the 8-speed gearbox. It's probably quite hard to see, but as you'll change to the gears, which it looks like this with the paddle shift here, it will actually change the gear ratios. And they're done sequentially as well, so this one will only turn every half turn of this. So yeah, looks pretty impressive, to be honest. We've built the chassis, so it looks like we've got the complete chassis for the car. And we started off with the rear assembly or rear axle assembly, with the shocks, the suspension on it, shock absorbers. It's very, yeah, it's very impressive. So the detail on it so far is amazing. You'll probably see as I can find the right one to turn. Yeah, so the wheels drive. They will turn independently as well. So it's a very, very clever system here. So you got the 3 cogs and they can turn independently. So that's yeah, that's a very nice system. So I think the next bit we need to build on this is going to be the engine. So I might actually do a brief video before we build the second box, because it looks like in the manual that when we're building the engine, we actually put the engine cover on it as well. So there are actually 12 pistons under here, but you're not going to be able to see it once the engine's complete. So to show that working, as I might do a quick video before we get to the end of the box. But I'm sure you'll agree, it's looking an impressive build so far. I say the technical aspect of it is very impressive. So we'll crack on with bag 2, and we'll speak to you in a bit. So thank you very much. So we've got to the end of box 2. I'm sure you'll agree it's looking pretty impressive build so far. As I say, we've only done 380 something steps out of nearly 1100, so there's a long way to go yet. But from those first 2 boxes, we've built the chassis up, we've done all the wheels with the suspension, we've done the gearbox, the gear shifts, and the engine block. As I'll show you some more the details underneath in a moment. What I wanted to do was, I've actually not done the final attachment on the engine cover, because I think once the body's on, you'll never be able to do this again. So I wanted to show you the engine in situ. But we'll start off with the engine cover itself. Again, just looks really nice. I was disappointed at first because there were no stickers in the set, or didn't seem to be any stickers in the set. But it looks like they've actually printed all of the parts that need labels on them, which is nice because they're never going to wear off. They're done the same as the minifigures, and the quality of them is just really nice. So you probably can't pick it up. It's got the V12 and the Lamborghini logos on it. But again, that's quite impressive. So underneath we have the V12 engine. The engine itself works, which is quite impressive. So you'll notice, if I turn the wheels at the moment, nothing's happened with the engine. You put the gear stick into the first position and the engine moves, but it's actually quite slow. You put it into the rear position and it's a lot quicker. So it's the gears itself are working. The gear shift is a bit temperamental, to be honest. I'm not sure if there's anything else that's going to be done to this to make it better, but it's a bit intermittent whether it actually turns or not. If I physically turn the gear behind it, which it's supposed to do with the gear shift, I'll try and show you because it's quite hard to see. But you've got these gear shifters here, which have got 3 positions for each, and as you go through them, you can see they move depending on where you did the paddle gear shift. So the 8-speed gearbox actually works really well. The other thing that is going to be really hard to see on this is we now have working steering. So you can see the route that the steering rack, the rod goes to the steering rack, so the rack's in here. And that just, again, it's quite a nice movement. So unfortunately with this panel on, you can't really see the technical part that's gone into it, but that's the only trouble with these sort of builds. I say that there's so much detail and there's so much complexity in it, but when the build's finished, you don't tend to see it, which is why I think this video is quite a good thing to do. So yeah, I think the next steps, according to the instruction manual, is the interior. So it looks like we're going to build the seats and steering wheel and instrument cluster. So yeah, looking forward to getting all that in place. So we'll get on with box 3, and I'll speak to you in a bit. Thank you. Right, so I got to the end of box 3. May not look like we've actually done that much extra to it, but it was quite a complex build for that box. As you see, we now have the seats in place with the steering wheel. So it's going to be quite hard to see these things, but the steering wheel is in place and it's got the Lamborghini badge on the middle of it. You've got the dashboard in there as well. You've got the glove box. We've started putting the part of the roof on. Built the support beams for the engine bay. And it's got its radiator at the back. I believe these would be the start of the scissor doors. But we'll find out in the next box, I presume. And we also have the mechanism for the rear spoiler. So that's now been in place. So it's been very tight to build some of this. Some of the parts were a little bit awkward to get into position. But I think it's really starting to take shape. As a lot of the support bits have gone in, so the stability bit is a lot better now. As I say, we've started, so we're seeing what the back's going to look a bit more like. Just a word of advice, as I say, don't do like I did. I didn't make sure that the steering rack was in exactly the right position. So you need to make sure that when the steering rack's in the middle position, the center of the cross is vertical. I actually ended up taking apart some of the front of the car so I could actually correct that. I didn't want the steering wheel off angle when the wheels are straight. But I think overall, it's definitely getting there. It's a very solid build. I say, as all Technics tend to be, because of all the connectors you have. But I say, there's going to be nothing falling off this. So we'll get on with bag 4, and I'll speak to you in a bit. Right, so we've reached the end of box 4. I say it's really starting to take shape after that box. Most all the extra bits that weren't in the number bags have been used on this section as well. I mean, as you can see, it's a lot of the bodywork and all the rear end is now complete on this. So I think the lights and exhaust look really good. Yeah, so it's so the details are phenomenal on this. One of the things I do like is, as I say, there's a lot of detail on the engine. So they have actually made it so that The engine bay is removable, but again, even just the details on the removable top is, yeah, it's just really nice. I'm not sure whether a lot of these are special panels, but they do work really well for this car. Again, it's got the sticker on there for the charging, if you need to charge the car. The other feature that I've built on at the moment is it now has its working spoiler, so you can put it into speed mode. So again, I think it's just quite nice. I like how the controls at the front of the car as well, rather than something on the outside here. Overall, yeah, I'm really pleased with this. So looks like the next step, according to the book, is the front end and the scissor doors. So I think once that bodywork is on, it's going to sort of really finish it off. And then I suppose the last step is just the wheels. So we're definitely getting there. So probably another couple of hours, and we might be in a position where it's pretty much finished. So I'll speak to you again soon. So the build is now finished. I think you'll agree it looks amazing. I think the lines that they've managed to achieve in Lego is phenomenal. The designs of this, it just blows me away how they've managed to achieve some of the design aspects of it. Even if we look down at the headlights on the front, to actually get the wide lights that they are on the actual car, the lines they have on the doors, on the back and the bonnet, it just, I don't know whether they're bespoke parts for this or whether they're just very cleverly engineered to work out how the parts would fit on this car. But it just works really well. Not without its faults. As I mentioned in my previous video, the gear shift is a bit clunky, so it doesn't always work. But yeah, you can do it by hand. Yeah, it works in that aspect. And to be honest, it's a display piece, so the fact that the gear shift doesn't work that great isn't too much of an issue. A couple of the panels feel a bit loose, but I think it's just the way they've had to design it because of the aspects of the car. But overall, yeah, it's very nice. As I say, it's got some Some really nice features. So the scissor doors, I say, they do feel a bit loose, but I don't know how else you'd do it. But they work as proper scissor doors. So it's, yeah, I think the engineering that's gone into to being able to get that movement is fantastic. The bonnet opens as well. So I don't know how well you'll see into the bonnet here. But it has actually got a unique serial number again, which is quite nice. One bit I didn't like on this is you get a bit of luggage, but it's flimsy. Yeah, if it's just going to stay in there, I think it's okay. I think, yeah, they could have designed that slightly better, and it might be just put a couple of fixings on it to keep it in place. But other than that, yeah, that's very nice. Inside, I'll take some photos and put them at the end of the video, because it's going to be really hard to show you the insides with the dashboard and the steering wheel and everything, just how nice that looks. At the back of the car, so let me just turn the car around. So again, the details at the back of the car, I'm hoping you can see this okay. So you have the big exhaust pipes that you see on the back of the Sián, the rear wing assembly and the fins. You can get into the engine compartment, which is quite a nice feature they've done on this. But I'm glad I showed you the pistons on the engine in a previous video, because you can't see them. So if I take this off, so it's got the Italian flag, show where it's been built. And I'll just tilt the car over so you can see the engine bay with the support rods across it to stop the movements, all suspension intact. So it's, yeah, just looks really nice. I'm glad that they've made it so you can take the top off, because it'd be a shame to have all that detail and never see it, like with the gearbox. I say inside you've got your working steering wheel, your paddle shifts either side of the steering wheel. Again, not sure how easy it's going to be to see. You can probably see across the bottom the mechanism move for the door. So yeah, just very well engineered. Another feature I quite like on the back, and you access it from inside the car, is you can put the wing into speed mode. Again, not a huge amount of movement, but it's, yeah, I think that's pretty similar to the actual car. But again, just the shape of the rear spoiler is very well engineered. So I do take my hats off to the team of engineers that created this, because yeah, it's very good. Yeah, I think it's one of those, you see a lot of models that have reasonable representations of what they're supposed to be, but I think this one is very close representation. As you saw in previous video, they say the Chiron, yeah, I love that car. I think it's very well built, but the bodywork leaves a bit to be desired in places. But I think this it just works better. You can tell this is moved on a couple of years from the Chiron, with the way it's been designed, and I think it's clear to see the impact that Lamborghini have had in the design of this as well. Would I recommend this set? Yes, I really would. Very frustrating at times, some very fiddly bits, some bits that are very hard to get in place, but overall an enjoyable build. For the complexity and the size of it, I do think it's worth the money. It's not a cheap set to buy. But yeah, I'll definitely recommend that if anyone wants to do this, it'll be a challenge, but yeah, I'd go for it. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I think it's going to look amazing on the shelf. So yeah, so I think if there's anything else you want to ask, please leave something in the comments and we'll come back to you. But overall, enjoyable, worth it, and I'd recommend it. Thank you very much.